Welcome to Permission to Be Human, the podcast. I'm your host, Mel Finlater, mother, coach, and curator of Permission to Be Human, the company and community. If you're a mom, know a mom, or want to be a mom, and you crave getting out in the world to make a difference, then you're in the right place. This is a space for moms like you to connect with yourself, your purpose, and your big, audacious dreams. Because when you feel your best, you can better you, your family, and the wider world. Let's do this. If this is your first time listening to Permission to Be Human, the podcast, you're in the right place. Listen to this one first. We're going to be digging into why you should be spending your precious and fleeting time listening to this podcast. So, why? Because you're intrigued. Something brought you here that said you're missing something or craving something. And I believe that we should always follow that feeling and see where it leads. And if that's not enough for you, then because moms can and are going to change the world. And if you're here listening to me right now, then you likely have a craving to feel connected, to feel full, to feel purpose, and to make a difference. And because you're a freaking amazing mother, and you're more. In this podcast, we're going to be exploring possibilities. This is my absolute favorite place to be. We'll be digging into stories and getting inspiration and digging into the hows of getting into this mindset so you actually know how to do it. And we'll play with what's actually possible and expand what you believe is so. You'll be inspired by hearing stories of dreams turning into reality, witnessing women who are making a massive impact at home and out in the world, witnessing the change makers in action. And don't get me wrong, we're making it real. This is not a place for those super moms, I can do it all BS. This is the real place where humans go through real challenges to make their dreams a reality. This is a space for the human growth, the positive psychology, that stuff that is necessary to find purpose, connection, and ultimately feel good about you so that you can go and do what you're capable of and make your impact. There's 3 different styles of things that we'll be doing on the podcast. There'll be interview style where we interview women who are out there doing amazing things and making their dreams a reality. But I can't help myself. There'll also be some workshop style things. I'm a trainer facilitator by trade, and I've done many years of it, and I can't help but want to give you tangible actions that you can take while listening to the podcast. And then we'll also be talking to practitioners in the field of flourishing, happiness, positive psychology, and so much more. We'll be digging into the science and the reality of having a good life. So who am I? I'm Mel Finlater. Yes, it's spelled find later. I've heard it all. You can laugh, right? And guess what? You can find me later if you just go and like and rate our podcast and share it with your friends. I'm a mom of 2. At the time of recording this, a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. And I love figuring out all the other parts that make me me. Yeah, I'm a mom, but I'm so much more as well. I live on Vancouver Island in Canada. And I moved during the height of the pandemic. So March 2020, I bet it's one of those months and times that everybody knows where they were at that time. And it was pretty hectic. So I used to live in UK and I lived there for 14 years. So it's had a pretty big impact on my life. Pretty much most of my adult life was spent in the UK. So I'll be chatting lots about my time there as well and what I've learned along the way. And it wasn't easy, and you'll hear so much more detail about this story, but moving during the pandemic, as you can imagine, was a challenge. So I digged into this path of learning, this love of learning that I have, and learned all these amazing things around positive psychology, which is the science of flourishing. And through that, I realized that everyone in this world needs to have this knowledge and these tools and to start connecting with other people, because this is what changed my life and helped me grow for the better. I have a passion for learning, nature, community, asking big questions, playing with possibility, and doing everything I can to get the women out there who are moms and change makers to be their best and making their biggest difference. So I'm Mel, mom, wife, sister, daughter, lover, dreamer, community builder, and coach, and I suppose podcast host. And I can't wait to meet you. And if an anonymous voice on the other side of your headphones is what you need right now, I'm happy to be it. However, I would so love to meet you. So come and find me over on social media, Facebook, Instagram. It's called Permission to Be Human, right? Come and say hi. Ask me questions. Tell me a story. I'd love to connect. I feel so privileged that you're here, and I will do everything in my power to make it worth your while. And what can you do in return? Just like and rate the podcast so other people will see it. The algorithms of podcasts need you to do that. Let's get these words out there into the world. All right, catch you on the flip side.